Hi everyone, how are you?
All good, thanks, Jack. Curious to know which artist's life we are going to listen and learn about today.
This time, you are going to learn many facts about Banksy, but only theories and suspicions about who he is, as no one really knows.
Now we are even more curious. I have always been very fond of mysterious stories. Today we are learning about Banksy. Who is Banksy? Why do you need to know about him? No single living artist has created as many myths, rumours and legends as Banksy has. He is rebellious, anarchic, mysterious, and the most controversial street and graffiti artist in the world. Graffiti is derived from the Italian word graffiti, with the same spelling, and translates to incised inscription or design. It refers to markings, photos, words or drawings that have been spray painted, sketched or even scratched onto walls, sidewalks or other publicly accessible areas. Graffiti is either a form of vandalism or a form of art, or both. It is most commonly created illegally and has been continually used as a vessel for political and social activism. Where is Banksy from? Banksy is a British artist who is believed to have been born in Bristol, in England, in 1974, but Banksy's date of birth is as uncertain as his identity. Few know about Banksy's biography, but news reports that by the early 2000s he relocated to London, which became his home for a while, and where he began to gain notoriety. His style is similar to Blek Lerat, a famous French graffiti artist, who began to work with stencils in 1981 in Paris. When talking about Banksy's art, one needs to mention that Banksy's graffiti is done with a stenciling technique, a style that has been key in allowing him to preserve his anonymity and avoid being caught by the police, as he can complete his work much more quickly by following this method compared to painting freehand. Such works have been done on the streets, walls and bridges of cities throughout the world, and Banksy often draws in highly visible public places such as buildings or train stations. His paintings are often about politics, war and other important topics. Banksy's political statements and disruptive visions have impacted cities across the globe, provoking alternative viewpoints and encouraging revolts in the art world. Banksy once stated that graffiti is one of the few tools you have if you have almost nothing, and even if you don't come up with a picture to cure world poverty, you can make someone smile while they are having a piss. Rats are one of Banksy's greatest sources of inspiration and one of the most prolific subjects in his work. An anagram of art, the rat, along with the monkey, is an allegorical tool used by Banksy in his criticism of the human race. His animals are frequently anthropomorphized, having been granted human characteristics and positioned in unusual or comical situations, revealing human vices and flaws. One of his most famous works is called Devolved Parliament, a divisive painting in which Banksy replaced British politicians debating in the House of Commons with chimpanzees. Banksy also uses his work to support worthwhile causes. In 2002, he was commissioned by GREENPEACE to highlight the problems of deforestation. The campaign featured some of the main characters of Disney's Jungle Book, but it was never put in circulation because Disney's legal team decided not to go forward. Banksy infiltrated the Venice Biennale, a famous international art exhibition, in 2019 with his work Venice in Oil. In the piece he depicts a huge cruise ship that looms over passers-by, tourists, but also the characteristic gondolas that populate the canals. In the background he shows a mistreated and almost completely hidden Piazza San Marco. The Venetian environmentalists thanked him, as with his work and popularity, the message spread that people should try to preserve Venice and not allow big cruise ships and mass tourism to destroy the city. One of the most remarkable facts about Banksy is the important role he played in raising money for the NHS during the recent COVID-19 pandemic. A Banksy painting called Game Changing depicts a young boy playing with a superhero nurse doll. This painting appeared at Southampton Hospital as a thank you to the staff during the first wave of the pandemic and has now sold for a Banksy record, with all the proceeds going to the NHS. Banksy's art is immediately recognisable. His often controversial and mind-hurting images have earned him a loyal worldwide cult following, encouraging the rapid spread of his name across the internet. Protective screens have been placed over some of his works to protect them from being painted over. Several have been removed or defaced. Graffiti artists know that what they do is illegal and that they may be subject to a fine as well as having their pieces removed. Despite Banksy's huge notoriety, he likes to remain anonymous and not let people know his true identity. There have been rumours about it. Few names are often suggested, whilst others believe Banksy represents a group of artists and not a single person. People have been speculating over who he could be for years, but none of these theories have ever been proven. The mystery behind who he is feeds stories and speculation, which fill tabloid newspaper and give him a lot of popularity. Everything about Banksy is a mystery, and this mystery has undoubtedly contributed to his success. Like the majority of street artists, he doesn't make money from his works, due to the fact he paints onto walls rather than canvases. However, because of his fame, art dealers and property owners remove and sell entire walls which bear an original Banksy. Banksy doesn't like his art to be sold for thousands of pounds, and he has never wanted to become part of the art market. That is the reason why he shut a website called Pictures on the Wall, where he used to sell prints of his artworks, because the same prints were later resold to dealers and collectors for huge amounts of money. Banksy tries to keep his work free and for the masses. Another interesting fact about Banksy was a stunt he pulled in October 2018. One of his works, called The Balloon Girl, was sold in an auction at Sotheby's in London for $1.4 million. However, shortly after it was sold, an alarm sounded inside the picture frame and the canvas passed through a shredder hidden within the frame, partially shredding the picture. The self-shredding wanted to be a cultural act, a remark upon the corporate greed of the art market. When talking about Banksy, we have to mention his first movie called Exit Through the Gift Shop, which was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Documentary. Banksy assumed the role of author and filmmaker for this film and tried to capture what the life of a street artist is about and what goes on in the graffiti world, whilst being a critic to the massive commercialisation of art. Banksy's artistic endeavour continues to take him around the world. Artworks have cropped up in Australia, Jamaica, Canada, the United States, Israel, and many more, and they are instantly protected and revered. Clever, cunning Banksy elaborated a plan to do what he wants, spreading worldwide clear messages so they are straightforward and accessible to everyone, provoking reactions and promoting critical thinking by giving different points of view.
How cool is this kind of art? You can just have a walk around the city and spot them. So easy to find and enjoy.
Maybe we should find a program in our computer that helps us catch him.
Haha, maybe, but I'm not sure you will manage though. The mystery hasn't been solved for so many years.
Maybe if he doesn't want his identity to be revealed, we should respect his decision and stop trying to figure out who he is.
I agree, and I think what is special about Banksy is that he paints for no other reason than spreading his provoking and meaningful messages. He doesn't do what he does to become famous or to earn money. He really believes in the power of graffiti and street art as a vehicle for waking up minds and consciences.